All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're cracking open something that's honestly a bit misunderstood: the whole decision-making cycle behind franchise security. If you've ever found yourself wondering how these security choices actually get made when you have multiple store locations, local operators, and a corporate office all pulling in different directions, well, you are in the exact right place. We're drawing on some truly fantastic, hard-earned insights from a seasoned commercial security installer, someone who's literally lived this process from both the franchise side and the vendor side. So let's get right to it.
So, we're going to start right at the heart of the matter. We've got to talk about the dirty little secret of franchise security. It is almost never proactive. You'd think a business would want to secure its assets before a disaster hits, right? But as it turns out, most multi-location operators wait until a location is actually hit. And honestly, the reason why isn't because they just don't care. It actually comes down to a fundamental structural divide in how risk is viewed across the company.
And here's why. There is this massive fundamental tension at play. On one side, you've got the franchisee, right? They're boots on the ground. They see the daily dangers. The corner where the neighborhood kids hang out, the window that's been tagged with graffiti twice this month, the suspicious person walking by at 2 in the morning. They feel that risk viscerally. But on the other side, you have corporate. Corporate isn't looking at a store window. They're looking at a profit and loss statement. To them, a security shutter or a fancy access control system, that's a major capital expense. So until an incident actually happens, the cost-benefit analysis just doesn't pencil out on their spreadsheet. So what does this all mean? Well, it means it usually takes the literal pain of a real-world break-in to act as the catalyst. That break-in is the thing that finally unlocks the notoriously slow corporate approval cycle. The franchisee waits, they get hit, and then suddenly, bam, the math changes overnight. Now corporate is writing the check. But because this whole process is incredibly reactive and slow, it ends up elevating a very specific person in the organizational chart. Enter the real hero of our story, the area director. This is the person who actually bridges that massive gap between the local urgency of the franchisee and the corporate math of the home office to actually get stuff done. They aren't the franchisor and they aren't the franchisee. They sit right smack in the middle. They're the ones physically visiting the stores, they know the operators by their first names, they have the authority to approve store-level repairs, and crucially, they are the ones fielding all those angry phone calls when a store gets compromised. And once that trust is locked in, the area director holds a ton of power. Just look at this actual quote we found from an area director fiercely defending a reliable vendor against corporate pressure to look for someone new. Corporate might have a whole preferred list, or maybe they want to seek out cheaper bids. But that field-level decision maker, they will absolutely go to bat for a vendor who actually delivers. It's the trust built over a series of successful installs that completely bypasses the flashing marketing, the website, and even that initial price quote.
All right, moving into Section 1, the 8-store pattern. So winning over that area director, it really boils down to 4 core tenets of a flawless install: aesthetic, build-out planning, access control, and follow-through. Treating that very first job like a high-stakes audition across these 4 exact steps is exactly how you build unbreakable trust. Let's break these down one by one.
First up, aesthetic. Now this is absolutely part of the spec, even if literally nobody ever writes it down in a contract. Nobody wants ugly security, bent slats, dented housings, exposed wiring. That stuff actively hurts the franchise's brand. So when a vendor comes in to replace, say, a cranky 15-year-old system, the unwritten rule from the area director is pretty much always, hey, make this look better than the old one. The security has to blend seamlessly with the brand's visual identity.
Number 2 is build-out planning. Basically, plan it before you cut. A truly professional vendor is going to give you a build-out drawing that shows exactly where the junction box sits, where the main supply runs, and where every single controller goes, all before a single piece of metal is ever cut. If you skip this step, you end up with wires running all over the place and conduits slapped on as a total afterthought. Doing this planning upfront proves to the area director that you're a serious professional operation that actually respects their physical space. The third tenet here is access control. This is all about making the system effortlessly usable for everyone involved. We're talking distinct key fobs for the franchisee, the daily staff, and yeah, even the area director if they want one. But the real game changer here? The phone app. Giving operators the ability to remotely verify and secure their store from a smartphone at 3 in the morning without having to drive down there in their pajamas is absolutely massive. It's that kind of seemingly small difference that gets a vendor invited back for the next 8 jobs.
And finally, we have follow-through. Look, a security shutter is a mechanical thing, right? Eventually something is going to break. A sensor will flake out, a remote will die, or a delivery truck might accidentally clip a slot. When the franchisee calls, you pick up the phone, you drive out there, you fix it, and, here's the kicker, you do not bill them for that minor visit. That seamless, zero-cost follow-through guarantees you will be the absolute only vendor that chain ever uses. You have to treat the relationship as long-term, not just transactional.
Okay, let's shift gears to Section 2, the proactive playbook.
Step 1 here is incredibly simple, but man, it is so often ignored. You absolutely have to know who you're going to call before a break-in happens. If you're an operator, the absolute worst time to be price shopping and vetting commercial security vendors is during that frantic, highly stressful 24-hour window immediately following a break-in. The operators who handle a crisis the best are the ones whose area director already has a trusted vendor's number saved right in their phone. That kind of preparation is absolutely crucial for long-term success.
Moving to Step 2, standardize across your stores. We're talking the same product family, the same installation crew, and the exact same control systems. Corporate buyers love standardization, and frankly, it's not just because they love bureaucracy. Maintenance, staff training, sourcing replacement parts, all of that becomes drastically easier when every single store is running an identical setup.
Now, obviously, you might have a really unique building. In that case, you should only deviate for physical limits, like, say, really low ceilings, or maybe historic facade rules, or ADA clearance issues. And even if you absolutely must deviate, you still use a variant from that exact same product family. The golden rule we're aiming for here is that any manager should be able to walk into any sister store and immediately know how to operate the system, zero new training required.
So how do you actually make this happen if corporate already has this giant inflexible list of preferred vendors? Well, there's a specific operational path you can use to push back. Step 1, the franchisee finds a trusted, high-quality vendor. Step 2, the area director backs that vendor based on real, store-level proof. And Step 3, the area director is the one who picks up the phone and calls corporate procurement, not the other way around. You see, corporate's list is usually just for back-office approval. Their purchasing system will almost always greenlight a vendor if a field decision-maker vigorously goes to bat for them.
Once you actually get the green light, pacing is absolutely crucial. As you can see, in a reactive rollout, you obviously secure the hit store first, and then you immediately follow up with the nearest sister store that's on the perpetrator's likely route. But in a proactive rollout, you want to start with your highest revenue store to set a solid proof point. From there, you move at a steady pace, maybe 2 or 3 stores at a time. The big takeaway here, never ever try to do 6 stores all at once. 2 or 3 is the sweet spot if you want to maintain actual quality control.
That brings us to Section 3, warranty and maintenance lifecycle.
To really, truly plan ahead, operators have to understand the financial rhythm of maintaining these systems over a multi-year horizon. It's like a giant puzzle. It's not just about the upfront costs. In year 1, service calls should be incredibly rare. The gear's brand new, the staff is being careful. Years 2 and 3, that's when the small things pop up. A sensor acts up, a remote battery dies, maybe a few minor physical dings. But jump forward to year 5, that is your major maintenance moment. Motors start needing service, box seals need to be inspected. By knowing this exact rhythm, corporate can actually plan for major capital expenditures on a completely separate budget line well in advance. We're going to wrap up this explainer with one final big question for you to chew on. Who are you going to call in the 24 hours after a break-in? If you honestly don't know the answer right now, you're relying entirely on a reactive cycle, and you are putting your multi-location brand at serious risk. It is time to find your trusted vendor, leverage your area director, and build out your proactive plan today. Thank you so much for joining me as we unpacked these fantastic insights, and I really hope this helps you secure your operations just a little bit smarter and faster.